Well, howdy y'all. Been a while. A little life update here. As you can see, this is not my blue and gray old F250. I sort of upgraded. I mean, this thing's pretty beat up, but I sold that. Just wanted something a little more modern, so I bought this. This is an 06, but it has like 275,000 miles, dents, scrapes, dings, cracks in the windshield, blah, 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 all that stuff. But it was only a couple grand and it still runs like a champ. So we picked it up and we loaded her down today. So we got like 24 sheets of drywall. I was going to go with beadboard on my ceiling panels, but I found this little 1/4-inch plywood. I think I'm not sure what they said it was. Maybe it's poplar. Kind of like the pattern. So we'll see what it looks like when I put it up there. We'll either just stain it clear or maybe a different color, color stain, so you can still see this grain in it. And or we'll paint it. We'll see. I picked up two bags of rock wool. This is going to go in the middle bedroom between the living room and the bedroom, and then I'll have some more left over for the wall between the front bedroom, office area, bathroom, and that bedroom, just so just a sound barrier in between the bedrooms. And anyway, so I picked that stuff up and grabbed drywall primer. It has to be specific for drywall because that will suck it up because it's super thirsty. And then you can paint it and do your other primer if you want, standard paint primers, but probably just standard paint after you texture it and all that good stuff. And got the joint compound for the drywall as well. So yeah, so that's what we got. And oh, big surprise, look here, we got a new member to the pack. This is Callie. She's a sweet old girl. They don't know how old she is. I'd say she's probably 8 to 10 maybe. She's quite the chunk. I think she's already lost a few pounds since I've had her for just about a week and a half now. She's a sweet old girl, but her hips are getting pretty bad. So I don't know how long she'll be around with us, but hopefully at least a couple years. I've started to give her some joint supplements like I gave my old girl Penny, and she is a little more spry. It might also be because I've, gave her less food and better food. So that might help as well, and more walks. She is a pity, so she does have some skin issues here, flaking and whatnot, but I think the better food and more activity will help that aspect. Give her some fish oil as well. But she's a vocal girl. When I stop petting her and stuff, she kind of whines and barks a little bit, or when she's ready to go for a walk or all that stuff. So a little annoying, but also kind of sweet. And as long as I give her what she needs, then she'll be chill like this. So welcome Callie to the pack. Her and good old baby out there, they get along pretty well. They actually just started playing for the first time together yesterday, which she's fine with other dogs, but she's not much into playing with them. Then she gets a little mouthy. But anyway, we'll show you what else I've been doing. I mean, you saw me put this thing up here, but I don't know if I showed you guys this, but I built a couple lumber racks and filled it up with all my reclaimed lumber. That rack back there is kind of leaning, and I didn't have it level on the ground when I got it about halfway full and realized it, but it was too heavy to jack up to level it out. So it's leaning a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. I'll probably put a brace going this way just to help keep it from falling over. But this one is like, we got cedar pickets on top, so I'll be using those and use 2x4s and stuff. But most of this wood will be going away once I start making my permanent sheds, because that's what I'll use most of the wood for, and start doing finish work on this house. So anyway, and then all this foam insulation will go underneath the house when I'm ready to start closing that up. And then we have our fence posts and 2x4s and stuff. So we'll be getting this cleared out at some point. But other thing I've done here is, so I've got rid of most of the big trees. And then we had a ton of these, this one was pretty big, but you can see here they were up into the fence here, and this one here was leaning up towards these power lines and way over there, and so was that one. And so they were just, I didn't know how I was going to get them down. I didn't know if I was going to have to pay. And there was another one here that was leaning this way. Those two were leaning that way. Those 3 or 4 were leaning that way. So basically all the trees I had left were like scary ones. But I was able to get them down by tying a rope down to my truck over there and pulling them and, putting tension on them, cutting them. And then I was able to fall most of them, like, even though the rope was going that way, I was able to get it just enough tension to where I knew if I cut the notch to go this way, they would fall there. And all of them did, except for this last one here was just coming back too far this way. So the angles, I had to put a lot of tension on it. So you can see the dent in my little shed here. That was out of probably the 20 trees that I took down with my truck and, pulling certain ways. So this was the only one that did any damage. And I really wasn't, and it was mainly because I went too fast, and I really wasn't worried about this shed because once this one's just holding garden tools and stuff. I mean, yeah, I'd like to keep it, not dented, but wasn't scared about it. I was too worried about that one and this one. But this was my least feared one. But yeah, we got it, but it's still functional. So yeah, we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think there's a couple more hidden in here, but there was about 12 here that I had to pull across, and my neighbors were watching me through their windows, and they're like, "Oh, you're getting pretty good at this." And I'm like, "Yeah, after you do it a while, I stopped even having panic attacks every time I take one down because, yeah, it gets scary." But anyway, so that's what we did on that side. Oh, yeah, and here's another truck, which is funny. I sold one truck, bought 2 trucks. But the thing is, with this generation of these trucks, this model specifically has the 5.4 liter motor in it, and they're known for being trash or finicky. 5.4 3 valve, I think they are. Anyway, some guy, his mechanic told him, yeah, he needed a new motor, $10,000, and he needed to get it out of the shop, and he had it up for $2,800. And mine, the gray one over yonder way, I got it for $2,000, but it runs good, but it's beat up and base model. And this one here, which is locked or something. Anyway, I don't like this step side bed, but this was a higher model one, and it has leather interior and all that good stuff, power windows and locks and all the fancy stuff. And so I was like, hey, if nobody buys it for me, I'll give you $1,000 for it. And he called me 4 days later and said, come and get it. So got it for $1,000. Told her here for a couple $100. So I'm either going to take, like, the axle and suspension is a lot tougher on this one, take those out, take the interior out, the slider windshield on that one, and all the power stuff, and then either swap it into the truck that runs good, or get just a new motor in here, which would be $5,000, but then I have to put it in there, which would be a pain in the behind. So we'll see. Or I'll just sell this for twice as much as I bought it for and call it a day, and then just drive this other one until it's done. But anyway, so yeah, so I've just been doing that, and just haven't spent too much time working on the house because, I've been working on my tiny house for 3 years and then working on this house the last 3 years, and haven't really done anything in the summers for myself. So I've just kind of been doing that. Plus I had to find a new job. But yeah, there were some other trees in here that needed to come down. I think that one, and then some small ones right here. So we got those down. And then I did have, let's see here, there was 3 big alders in the center of my property here that I was too scared. This one was aiming right back here towards the house, and so I had someone come and do that one. And then the middle one, I could have followed it down here, but it was really big, and I was just too scared to do it. And the guy that came and bid, he's like, yeah, I gotta climb all 3, but then he just chopped this one down and fell it. And I was like, yeah, I probably should have done it. And then the third one, I don't know where the stump is, down here somewhere. It was just really tall and slightly wanted to go that way, so I was just scared of the size and angle of that one, so he took that one down as well. But then there was like 10 trees along here, and there was 2 big cherries up here that were dead, and my neighbor convinced me to just put the ropes on them and pull them and cut them. It should be easy. And so I started doing that, and the first few were really scary. And this big maple here was really scary because it was going way towards that guy's house. And we did it. And then after about the fourth one, I stopped getting paranoid about it and was able to pull them all down. And there was one big cherry here that leaned way far that way. So I did pay the guy that took these trees down to come back and do that one as well. But in the end, I think after I started pulling these down and got more comfortable with it, I was like, I could have done this one easy. This one I should have cut myself. And that third one, probably could have done myself too. Actually, all of them now that I was like getting comfortable using ropes in my truck and whatnot, I could have done them all myself, I think, because there was another scary alder that was leaning that way and another one that way, and they were pretty big and leaning pretty hard. And I used my ropes and pulled it. You can see perfectly here. There's two of them that came down right where I wanted them to. And this poor cedar, like every tree has like crisscrossed and fallen like right next to it, and somehow it's still here, even though some of the branches have been kind of knocked around. But so when I do get an excavator and start clearing all this out, I don't know if I'll leave this one here or dig it up and plant it somewhere a little more appropriate, although this doesn't seem like a bad spot either. So he deserves to live. But anyway, so that's pretty much what we got going on. So, over the last few months where I haven't really been doing much on the inside, I've done a little bit more drywall and electrical. And so I do have a new video that I just have to edit that I'm almost done. So we'll get that up pretty soon. But I just thought I'd show you that, I'm still alive, been doing stuff, and, looking for got a new job, working maintenance for a company in town. And then I do some handyman work. That's another reason I haven't done too much work on my house, is I've been painting a few decks and making some electrical repairs and plumbing repairs, which as a handyman you're not legally allowed to do, but they're all word-of-mouth jobs, so I've just been doing them anyway, and just other random maintenance things on people's houses. So that's been helping supplement the income, and here is that supplemental income gone again. But we do have materials, and we only have a few months of summer here, so I will be working on the house again. And so hopefully we'll get that recorded for you guys and get you back in the flow here. But anyway, hope all is well with y'all, and we will see you soon.